today I wanted to talk a little bit about the boards that the division works with, and which I serve as executive director on and as an ex officio member. So first of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Board of Agriculture and Conservation. The RBAC, as we call it, has really an important role in the development of agriculture. So first of all, they serve to encourage and promote the development of agriculture as an industry. What does that mean? Well, they got two major roles. The Board of Agriculture makes recommendations as we look at ag land that's available, and recommends to the commissioner and the divisions of mining, land, and water and the division of ag of where do we want to develop and move land forward, which is an important role, but they have an even greater and more important role, and that is they manage the Ag Revolving Loan Fund, a fund that was established in 1953, pre-statehood. And so it is probably one of the longest running loan funds the state has, and the sole purpose is to support low interest loans for the development of an ag industry in the state. So this has been going on for quite a long time. We have a great board. We have folks from all around the state and from different types of agriculture, as well as promotion organization and with finance experience. So the board last month realized, industry's having a hard time. COVID has hit everybody. And so they went through and we looked at our rates, looked nationally, found that interest rates were down, and the board adopted a new lower interest rate for most all of our loans. I think we stayed pat on a couple of loan rates, but we're down to 3% on some long-term development loans, and that is really probably going to be one of the best rates you can have. So what we're encouraging people to do is to look at their finances, whether this be new farming, ongoing farming. Mandy Tung is our new ARLF person, and so you'll find her on the website. ARLF is there with all the documentation and how you do it, and so we encourage people to go ahead and look and see. And on the roster here, you'll see we've got folks in your area. If you got questions, these folks are available. And of course, I'm always available as the director to answer questions and move you forward to the right people and to make sure that we're moving forward. As you all know, we've all been working remote. That has been quite a challenge for all of us. We're starting to slowly transition back into the office, and we're transitioning back into our spring production and those kind of things. So the other board that we have is the Natural Resources Conservation and Development Board, the NRCDB. And that is actually a board that works and gives advice to the commissioner. And as part of that, I am the commissioner's delegated board member and the executive director. So I wear three hats as the director. One is the director. One is the executive director of the Board of Ag and Conservation and the executive director of the NRCDB, which is great because that helps me coordinate the communication and the cooperation among all three entities. And so that's really good. So what does the NRCDB do? Well, they look at the broader picture of natural resources. And another key role is they are the supervisory advisory board to the Alaska's soil and water conservation districts. So we have, layers upon layers, typical bureaucracy, but it's a really functioning and a really important thing because the whole idea is to make sure that we're getting the input from the community and that we get it not only from higher level, mid-level managers, but also getting that feedback from on the ground back up through the system. So part of that is you have the NRCDB, and they interact with your soil and water districts that are located throughout the state. And so, again, we have a broad, diverse, wide-ranging group of people that are from throughout Alaska. And this actually has area representation required. With that, I really, really want to express my gratitude and appreciation for all the work that George Woodbury did many, many years on the NRCD board. He was our chair. Our condolences go out to his family. George passed on Monday. And it is a significant loss for the state of Alaska, for the forestry industry, for the natural resource industry. George was a fine fellow, one who gave me great advice. He will be sorely missed. And so again, I just wanted to express our condolences to the family and, just all the best in the future for them. George will be sorely missed in all of our communities, and it's just really sad. You can see I lose words because George had become somebody that I really enjoyed talking and getting advice from, and he would be sorely missed. So anyway, again, we really appreciated his many, many years of services. Next slide. So as part of that, we're looking at these soil and water districts. So if you're in farming in that and you don't know that you have a soil and water district, that's something you really should know. We have them in Fairbanks, Homer, Kenai, you see the list, Kenny Lake, Mid-Yukon. They are throughout the state, and they are a subunit of and work under the umbrella of the Department of Natural Resources. So this is an organization that is tied between DNR, work with the natural resources folks at USDA. And so it is how we have this interconnected relationship with the communities throughout the state. And it's not just all agriculture. It's looking at making sure we keep a clean environment as well as traditional agriculture. So that is the rundown of that. And then just so that we're clear, the associations from your conservation districts actually have a nonprofit that is their administrative arm. The state association was established in 1965. We work with their board to manage the districts in look at how do we have long-term funding for the future. All of those issues are always a challenge for all of us, but it's one that as director I have worked over the last 2 years to start making sure that that becomes a priority. And with that, I just wanted people to know, we have really strong community support. We have our boards. We have a lot of interaction with these communities directly with our staff. And, a lot of people don't know that relationship. So I thought today it'd be a good idea to kind of just lay that out. It'll be on our webpage. It is there. And, it's really good to just kind of making sure people know the different resources that are available out there for everybody to use. I also want to kind of make a few announcements because we do these every Thursday. Next week, long anticipated, I know long overdue, we are going to roll out our food security microgrant program. So, noon, next Thursday, be here. We have a new grants administrator, and Catherine Sweetle will be here with me, and we are going to roll out our first phase of how people can get involved and apply for our microgrants. Just so if you're in the grant world and your microgrant's not where you want to go, but you've been working on our specialty crop block grant program, we're going to do that on February 11th. So people can know that we're going to roll out our specialty crop grant program on the 12th of next month, or the 11th, sorry about that. So look for us next week on microgrants. Look at us right here on the 11th. We will follow up with webinars. There's going to be a lot of outreach, but I just wanted to give everybody a heads up, save the time, save the dates, and that. So not only are we going to start that in our Facebook Lives, we're also going to be working with Cooperative Extension. We're going to be talking about seeds. We're going to be talking about getting ready to grow this spring. And on February 4th, because the division does seed potatoes, and that whole network from ground zero to the seed producer of the state, we're going to have the February 4th talking about the different varieties of potatoes that are going to be available for sale and all things potato. We're also going to be working on different kinds of seeds. We're a little bit concerned that there's going to be certain types of seed shortages. So the extension folks and the division folks are going to be talking about seeds that work in Alaska, when we should get started on growing indoors so we're ready for next spring. We had great success with our victory gardens this year. A lot of production. That was wonderful. We've had our extension folks in here. We've been talking with them about how do you store. We want to make sure that people know all of that. We've talked about composting and how that works. We're just going to keep working on all of these different things that hopefully help you do what you want to do out there to produce the food and to get the right food. Because, our whole goal is to make Alaska grown produce and products available to the maximum degree possible. Because if we grow it here, we buy it here, the money stays here, we grow our industry. And that's what the division's all about, trying to grow our industry, trying to help Alaskans have food security. And it's not a cliche. This is what we're really trying to do. So, we're pretty excited about going into this year. And, the last thing is, if there's a subject you would like to hear about, John Whipple is our publications guy. Let John know, let me know what you'd like to hear about, because whether it's just something we do or if it's something we work with, we're happy to get the resources together and present that as part of one of our programs. We will come out into the community when COVID gets done to where we can do these kind of presentations. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to try to do everything we can, Facebook Lives and those kind of presentations. Like I said, we're going to do some webinars. We're going to work on helping people know how to be successful in everything they're trying to do. So with that, this is Dave Schade. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Talk to you next week.